My name is Brandon. I am 26, originally from Westchester, New York, and right now I'm living in Binghamton. I am a perioperative project manager for our local hospital system. So I made chicken paprikash and narkel. So the most important thing with chicken paprikash is the paprika, and the spaetzle or the narkel, depending how you want to say it, is just flour, water, and eggs. Growing up, every Friday night we would have a big dinner with my family, so my grandparents and my parents. There's a short list of staples that my grandmother would always make, and this chicken and the narkel were always on that list. So it's always just had a really special place in my heart as something I associate with my family. I was just taught by observation. There was never any measurements given or explicit directions. It was just, watch me do this. That's how these recipes became like second nature, because you just knew what it had to look like and smell like by the end, and the process to get there without necessarily being able to articulate the steps in between. Both my grandmother and grandfather were born in Budapest, escaped during the Holocaust. This is the same recipe that my grandmother made, my grandmother's grandmother made for them. So in a lot of ways, this is telling the family story. So there's pictures and there's verbalized stories, but these recipes perpetuate some sort of a lineage that is really special to me. And sitting around the table eating this dish and knowing that it's the same meal that my grandparents ate with their grandparents is just really special. All four of my grandparents, whom I was very close with, were immigrants to this country. They were all minorities to an extent when they moved here and faced their fair share of hardship as well. Becoming a very mainstream American, second generation American, but also still having this minority aspect to who I am, definitely resonates with my family, or at least was something that I understood growing up. And I think I remember when I came out to my grandparents, I honestly did not know what to expect. And the first thing that they said was, "Oh, you're not dating a Jewish person." And I was like, "Oh, so we're just overlooking the fact that I'm dating a guy?" But so there was like this incredible open-mindedness that was so valuable and so appreciated. If I really think about it, I've only been out for 6 years, which isn't that long. A lot has happened. Who I've become as a person in those 6 years, that change has been dramatic, aside from my sexual orientation in a lot of ways. And that's just one of those other things that I'm learning more about and maturing. And I think also experiencing the gay life as a single person for a little while and then venturing into a new relationship, experiencing the gamut of life experiences as an openly gay person, as opposed to the more narrow sense of when I was younger. So do I identify as queer? I guess not. But with that said, I think I learned what that means to me a little bit more every day. And whether that's with more confidence using a gender-specific pronoun when talking about the person that I'm dating, or casually mentioning what I did or where I went to coworkers and to other friends, it's a very iterative process to me where, every time you do those things or say those things, it just feels slightly more comfortable until it just starts to become a different level of comfort with being gay or being queer, maybe. When I think back to when I first came out, I was afraid to go to a drag. That was like a weird thing for me. I was like, that's I had no objection to people doing that, but that didn't mean that I wanted to be in the same room as that. Now when I say that, it just sounds silly because, like, who doesn't want to go to a drag show? But when I talked to a lot of other gay people, they had a very similar feeling at first. I don't think there's anybody that comes out, and at least no one I've met so far, that is 100% comfortable with every aspect of the queer community. We're all in different stages of being comfortable with our sexuality, and when you were born in and raised in a very specific culture, there isn't a prescriptive way of changing your mentality and changing your comfort zone overnight. We all need a different amount of time, and we all grow up in different environments where we slowly and gradually become comfortable with that. But I will now call somewhat of a mature, maybe an adolescent gay person, right? We also have to be patient with other people in our community who aren't comfortable yet, and we need to be more nurturing than impatient or judgmental when somebody isn't comfortable with any aspect of being gay or an LGBT person, because we all need our own space and time to process it.